After over 25 years of marriage, we've learned that successful couples have great friendships, put each other first, and focus on light just as much as love. We believe marriage should be fun and easy.
Our goal is to share our journey with the hopes of helping others build strong, happy relationships. Join us as we continue to create our lives beyond I do.
Do you and your partner want to learn simple ways to grow closer?
Do you and your partner want to grow happier together?
Do you and your partner want to be a unified front?
Do you and your partner want to divorce-proof your marriage?
If you answer yes to these questions, you need to check out our book, Unlocking Forever, 10 Keys to a Successful Marriage Beyond I Do.
Each section focuses on a different aspect of marriage and briefly describes how we handled it in our relationship. At the end of the section, you're given an action step or key to complete with your partner.
These keys are practical steps you can immediately implement in your relationship and help you and your partner be proactive and intentional about your relationship.
You can purchase your copy on Amazon.com.
And until next time, we will holler at y'all.
Before we get into our episode, we want to share this disclaimer. We are not marriage counselors, nor are we mental health professionals. We simply want to share with you what has worked in our marriage. Now, on to our episode.
Welcome back. Well, hey y'all, I'm Byron.
And I'm Margaret.
What's up, y'all?
It's just us.
Yeah, it's just us.
It's just us and y'all.
Yeah, we miss doing our thing and talking amongst each other. And, season 2 has been a delight.
Absolutely.
I was very reluctant about when you mentioned, I'm going to reach out to people to be guests. And I was like, I don't know about all that, in my mind.
No, you said it out loud.
I did. You did. Out loud? Okay.
You voiced your concerns out loud, but
yeah,
as I often do, I ignored it.
Hit the button and started sending.
Yep.
And one thing I can say is I'm so glad because we have met some very interesting people. For y'all who don't do podcasting, it's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yep.
And, when you're in your world, it's kind of like you're by yourself.
Right.
Until you meet other people.
Right.
Like yourself that are doing it. So, we've met people from Texas to Canada to
the UK.
To Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah. And it's just been a interesting experience.
And special shout out to our new Indianapolis family.
Oh, yes.
Y'all, when we tell you we got a surprise and let you know we're moving to Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
When we tell y'all that, you'll see why once you start to hear the episodes that we have from the amazing individuals who we have had the honor of meeting and interviewing.
Yes.
And one in particular, Miss Regina Sloan.
Yes.
And we are going to make sure and leave her information in the show notes for this episode. When we met her, I'm kind of getting ahead of us, I'm sorry. But my new Indianapolis family, I'm so excited about. But when we met her and we finally had the meet and greet because things kept popping up.
Kept missing each other.
She was amazing. And she said, y'all, I've enjoyed this so much. I have some people I want y'all to meet and connect you with. Mm-hmm. And anyone who knows me, I'm not a people person. I struggle with meeting new people and things like that. And so all of a sudden, by the time we got off the interview with her,
Yeah.
my messenger inbox had 5.
Yeah. Already.
Right. And they were these audio messages, and she's connecting us with people. So it took me some time to work through those and make those connections. But when I tell you, we have met some awesome people, and we can't wait for you to meet them also.
So we started this journey, at the end
February. Our first guest was Miss Twyla Be Good.
Yes, Miss Twyla Be Good. Man, I tell you.
Who is a phenomenal, beautiful Black woman.
Yes.
Who is an intimacy and sex coach. And that episode aired, I think it aired like the day before Valentine's Day. So it was right on time.
Valentine's Day,
And we learned so much from her. We enjoyed talking to her, and we follow her social media now. She is just phenomenal. That was our first guest. And so since February, this is the first time where it's just been us.
Yeah, it has. And, it was like, as soon as you hit that send button and started inviting, it was like people flooding. Because, initially you have imposter syndrome. It's like, who wants to talk to us? Who want to share with us? Come on our show, and just share their story or share who they are. And then, once we got to, we would do meet and greets. So we meet the guests before. And some of them, have become family.
Right.
Some of them have become friends that we check up on. They check on us. We have had video chats without recording.
We have
just chilling out.
Accountability partners who are holding us to some of those things that we have that we've promised ourselves and each other. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, I'm looking at these people. They'll send their information over before the meet and greet, and I'm looking at their social media. I'm looking at their websites, and I'm like, why do they want to talk to us?
Yeah. We can talk.
Why do they want to talk to us?
Yeah.
But we have met some amazing people. We've only had one person who turned us down.
Oh yeah.
But we met for the meet and greet, and when we spoke to him, his reasons for turning us down were personal reasons, so to speak. Making sure, he said, I want to make sure that I align with your audience, and I don't think that, this is the time. Right. So we're thankful for that. But he also provided us with some resources.
Yep, sure did.
So we are just beyond excited with the people that we've met, the experiences we've had, and the things that we've learned. And then to be able to share that learning with you all, that part is exciting. And so if you've been behind, if you need to go back and catch up, I'm telling you, so far we've learned about your mindset. We've learned about hypnotherapy and how that helps mental health overall. We've learned tips from a sex and intimacy coach. We've learned about entrepreneurship, fitness, financial fitness, conflict and how to solve conflict. We've learned about the career plays, just all types of things. We
even had just coming up in a future episode, young man who was in domestic violence.
Right. That episode we saved for October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And I think we split it into 2 parts.
Yes, it's 2 parts.
To hear his story and to give him that platform, and to also advocate for the domestic violence awareness. We have some wonderful married couples who are coming on to share their story. We've already had the Thorells on.
Yes.
So we had one married couple on who came on. They talked to us about life with 5 beautiful girls, but they also are on a mission to help people create legacy wealth. And so in addition to hearing about their love story, to hearing about their family life, They also provided information about real estate investing and providing a legacy to your family.
Yeah. And you know, the one thing that was interesting that I've learned, you know, how when you look at some people and you think, man, they got it together, they're doing this, they're doing that. And as we've gotten to know people and to talk to them on a one-to-one basis, it's like you're figuring it out just like we're figuring it out. So,
Right.
you know, in your mind, it's like, oh, they got it together. They're professionals. You're like, nah, I just started this, you know, at such and such point in time, and I'm still learning.
Right.
And that human factor goes to, like, when we met Mr. Rod Jeter, who created the game.
Why be angry?
Why Be Angry.
Mm-hmm.
He actually, it was funny when we spoke to him. We just happened to speak to him on a meet and greet, and he was like, "Well, I'm in such and such." And we was like, "Well, you're not too far from us." And he said, "Well, how about I come to you guys?"
Yep.
You know, at first it's like, "Oh, I don't know about all that."
Right.
But then it was like, well, you know, he's been on TED Talk. He has great following on YouTube. So like, you know, let's let him on in. And, you know, when you look at his YouTube videos, he's actually in people's homes.
Right. He's working with couples. He's using his game to help couples solve conflict. Right. And on that particular episode, we talked with our niece and nephew, Paul Mashanda, and he did a demo of the game with the two of them. So that was something that was unique to watch that. What was your, well, I don't want to say a favorite, but maybe what guest was like that we've had on so far? Did you feel like, man, I learned a lot, or you got a good nugget from them that you've held on to?
Essentially all of them. I would say that the most effective, the one that I think about the most is probably Sanal.
Yes. Sanal is, he's currently in Thailand. And y'all, we would, with the meet and greet and the recording, we're sitting there watching behind him, you can see the beach out his front door.
Palm trees, sea.
Right. The calm that he has, like it comes through. Yes. It comes through. And so speaking to him, learning about your mindset and how to control your mind and therefore control the circumstances of your life. Yes. I know with two of our guests, you talked about the connections that we have outside of the episodes. Yes. So Candace with the K.
Candace with a K.
That's my girl. Yep. And Jazzy, the mindset coach. The uncontrolled goddess. Yes, uncontrolled goddess. Yes. These are individuals who we consider friends now. We consider family. So that has been exciting.
As a matter of fact, Candace's episode, our son had
right,
and he was a part of it. And, you know, he was in a phase in his life where he was trying to figure things out. You know, trying to figure out his direction, and he was able to ask her questions, and the answers she gave helped him keep himself at bay. And
right through that particular
they
season.
Hear stuff.
Right,
they hear stuff from you, and it's like y'all just saying stuff. When they hear from somebody else, it's like the best spoken word.
Right.
You know.
And Jazzy, who is a writer and has published books herself, she was a big encouragement for us with writing our book.
Exactly.
And she actually was the first person to read it. To provide feedback for it. So we're so thankful for that.
And we've actually had two
where we just log in and have Zoom, and we have family time. Yep.
Just collabing, and it's you know, it's wonderful because you're meeting people and you think that you're the only ones in your situation.
Right.
And you're meeting people that are like, because in their mind, you're like, well, they got it together. They got a website. They got books published. They got this going on. But then when you talk to them, it's like, I got my kids and I got practice here,
Right.
run here, working on my business. I still work.
That human,
You know what I'm saying?
That human real life.
Yes.
Right. We met Crystal, who is a hypnotherapist.
Yes.
And that's interesting to me. I've always been interested in things like hypnosis and anything dealing with the mind. So that was interesting for me. And she speaks about how hypnotherapy, how she found hypnotherapy as a practice and how it helped her personally overcome some things in her life and with mental health issues. And now she is a practitioner who helps others. Regina Roberti is also, the mode of hypnotherapy that she uses, it goes directly to the root cause and she gets these awesome results.
Yes.
She talks about how she started out as a masseuse. And so that healing energy, she kind of shifted into.
Already in that space already. And it's interesting, especially when you talk to someone who at this point in their life, they were doing this. And then at this point in life, they're doing this, and each step of the way led them to what they're doing now. And that was, interesting learning those things. I me personally, I just like to hear about people and their backgrounds, hear about things that, what brought you to this point in your life.
Right.
And I love to find out those things. So, she was phenomenal. We had Erin.
Yes. Erin is a relationship coach. She is her area of specialty is emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence. Yes.
She was an attorney at one point, and she also has a wine business. And so just the talent and the knowledge that she has, she shared with us, and we've seen her. One of the Facebook Live podcasts that we were guest on, she was also a guest on. There, So we have watched her on other platforms, and of course we follow her social media, and she is always dropping nuggets. We have Sarah, who is an intuitive coach.
Yes.
And that was interesting as well, to hear about her using that gift of intuition and helping others develop that gift.
Right. Oh, and Todd.
Yes.
Todd, Fit Gorilla.
Yes.
Yeah, that was our second guest. That was interesting, just hearing his story. He has that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yep.
He strives to overcome poverty. He's married and he has a wife. I remember talking about his wife. She was like, wasn't on board at first.
Right.
But,
right.
them coming together, she finally stepped in.
Right.
Helped fill the gap to help him achieve
so that he can, right.
Yes. So that was interesting. And then he even gave us some basic principles, some basic workout principles.
Right.
So
we got to learn about entrepreneurship and fitness.
Yep.
And our last episode that we aired Raza.
Yeah.
Now he's another one. I mean, when you hear our guest and some of the spectrum of things that they've done. So he started out as a professional ballroom dancer.
Before that, he started out in Pakistan.
Breakdance. Yes.
That's the first time. Yes. I was like, man, breakdancing, what?
Yes. And so he came to the States and he started out as a professional ballroom dancer and
opened up his own studio.
And eventually was actually one of the trainers who helped to train Emmett Smith when he was on Dance with the Stars.
He said that during the taping of the show, a lot of the contestants would stay in California. And they said Emmett wanted to remain, at home with his family. So they picked the studio now. He didn't he didn't physically train. Well, he
Yeah,
he
he
did
did.
physically
He
train.
did.
Yeah, but he did say that they trained in the studio.
They were. Yeah.
Him and his partner, and then they would fly out to LA for the show to take the show. So that was interesting, like, you know, learning his story. And then he had a heart attack.
Yeah. So he had a health issue and he had to pivot.
Yeah.
And now he is
life insurance.
Right, in retirement planning.
Yep.
And is very successful with that.
Yes.
The last guest that we episode that we released, Eric Rico McPherson.
Yes, Rico.
Who is a financial expert when it comes to financial fitness, financial well-being, and finding ways to bring in additional income to help support your passion.
You know, the interesting thing too is not only are we meeting people that, you know, tell us about these things, but these are people like Rico who's giving us some tools.
Right.
Like, you know,
right.
Just, hey, I want to help you succeed, so I'm going to give you this tool for you to use.
Right.
And like, you know, just that generosity in people, you know, yes, everybody's out to make a living, make money.
Right.
When you meet genuine people who look at you and look at what you offer, and they say, I want to help you guys just because it's you.
Right. Now, that's something else that we have over and over, we have heard. We have been uplifted and encouraged by these individuals to, you know, keep doing what you're doing. This is so needed. It's just been a beautiful experience.
Yes.
So coming up, we have more married couples who share their love stories. A lot of in fact, all of them are unconventional love stories. When I think about it, they have been through some trials. They have been through trials. And some of them, I know when we were recording some of them, some of the things that they were saying, my mouth would just drop wide open. And I can't imagine going through some of those things. So we have some awesome couples coming up who share their stories.
Some awesome coaches. We have some more life coaches, some more.
We have a procrastination coach.
Yes, yeah.
The CTT Media Group.
Oh yeah.
That was so much fun. That was fun. I can't even describe to you. You just, when you see that episode, you just need to check it in.
Check it out. Yeah.
Because we talked about a little bit of everything and we laughed and we had a good time.
We talked about, you know, the real stuff.
Right.
Just being us and how we know we take, I remember it was situations that were going on and we just talk about how we would handle it, you know, may have been in the media or whatever. That was very fun.
Now, one fun fact about Candace with a K, and we have another upcoming guest, Monique, both of which were on radio. Yeah. And so when you hear their voices, they can pretty much say anything to you, and it's going to sound good. So if you have not listened to the episode with Candace Whitaker, go back and listen to that one. Let her voice ease your mind. And then we have coming up Monique, and she's another one. You can hear that experience in her voice.
I remember when she came on the screen, it was like, bam.
Right. She's right. She made us feel a little bit bad. She was all professional.
Yeah, she was all about professional. We sit up there in our lounge where.
Who else we have coming? We have our Indianapolis crew coming.
Indianapolis crew.
Starting with Miss Regina Sloan, who is a life coach. She is a nurse. Is she a nurse?
Yeah.
I believe she's a nurse.
Yes.
She is a mother and wife. She is phenomenal. And I can't wait to share that episode and share her information. And if you don't follow anybody else, you need to follow Regina because she will have you smiling throughout your day.
Yeah, she is funny.
She is funny. She is insightful. She's uplifting.
Yeah.
I left one off. So Regina connected us with Miss Crystal, who is a financial expert.
Yeah, Miss Crystal. Yeah.
Miss Tina, who is a nurse practitioner.
Yes. She has a wonderful story.
In her, Nurse Shark Academy, where she helps other nurses venture into entrepreneurship. We have Miss Stephanie, who is an introvert business coach or a business coach for introverts.
Yeah,
and so that spoke to me. We have Miss Michelle, who is a phenomenal fitness guru. She was a professional bodybuilder.
This woman got her own app, y'all.
Yes, she is phenomenal. One of our couples, I'm talking about our Indianapolis group. I'll come back to that. And we have Elvery.
Yes, Elvery. Yes.
Elvery, who is my shero.
Yeah.
She has built this beautiful business, and she has answered questions for me as we continue our journey with Beyond I Do.
We just recently did hers, and it was insightful. And then to know her story about their marriage,
they were married young, right.
So they sent parallel stories,
right.
And what they're doing is just phenomenal for married couples.
And like I said, I have been, since our meet and greet, I would send her emails. I tried not to email her too much, but
you know what, that's the hard part. It's like, we know you have stuff to do. We've got stuff going on in our lives, so you don't want to overindulge people. But people will be like, feel free.
Right.
It's just me.
And
call me.
What she has created is what we envision.
Yeah.
And so she has been helpful with us as we start to build and grow for the next steps.
Yeah, exactly.
One of our couples, Scott and Robin, we had them on together, but then we had Robin on. She'll have a separate episode because she works with women who are in perimenopause. And she is a wealth of information. We had
Marquise and Taylor. That's one of my favorite young couples.
You Stuck With Me podcast. They have a story. They have a story.
They have a story, and they bring me life because watching them, they're doing those things that, when I think about, man, we could have been doing that. We could have been doing that.
Right.
And then, we extended our hands to them to, help guide them through, because they've only been married,
I want to say 2 years.
2 years.
I think they just celebrated 2 years.
Celebrated 2 years, yep.
We also were a guest on their podcast.
Yep.
And that's already been released. So I am in the process of updating our website so that I can get all of the interviews that we've participated in.
Because we have also been on the podcast.
We have.
That's been fun.
That's been fun. Now that I think
we didn't have to do no work.
Right. We have met some awesome people, but there is nothing like somebody saying, "Okay, this is the day and time," and they send that link.
Okay.
We don't have to.
Here's the first question. Here's the second question, and all of them have been like, just like having a conversation. Even though there may be some questions like they have their key questions they want to ask, but it's just been like a conversation.
Right. And that's the thing. Like I said, we've learned so much. We have people who are sharing their story with the hopes of helping others. Yep. And I think that comes through. Very rarely, even though we have people who hold retreats, they offer services, they have written books, very rarely in our conversation will they bring those things up.
Yeah, you're right.
They're there. We have these discussions. They share information, and it's refreshing.
Yes, it is.
To be in a space where you have people who are sharing their information, sharing their time, sharing their knowledge, and of course, we want to support them for doing that, but they give us enough that you can take what they've said and use those little pearls and apply them. So it's been an amazing ride.
And I tell you, it was like from February probably to about the middle of April. I mean, it was like sometimes we were doing 2 or 3
Right. There was one day where we had
shows a day,
3. We recorded
Saturday.
3, or
all day.
and we get up and change shirts,
Change shirts.
and start again. It was a lot, and it made me question some things in the midst of it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because this was both of us still working full time.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes I get home at 3:30 and our first, right.
Yep.
And
Or
from
7 or 8.
right.
Then it's like of course, like as far as like our guests, they become friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like as soon as we stop the recording,
We're still talking.
we're still talking for about another 45 minutes to an hour,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 2 hours. And it's like, oh shoot, it's 11 o'clock. I had to get up in the morning.
Right.
And you still don't want to let them go. 'Cause
Right.
It's like we're just sharing stuff, talking about parenting, talking about
Mm-hmm.
those real elements of life.
Right.
And it's just, man, it's been a blast. I mean,
It has been.
this is one of those things that I say, I'm glad we're doing it.
Mhm.
Glad we're doing it together.
Right.
'Cause
What else did we do together during this time?
what else did we do? Nice job, my man.
You know what? We wrote a whole book.
God dog it, we sure did.
published
Yep,
a whole
published a
book.
whole book. Yep,
We are published authors.
yep.
So,
What's the name of our book?
Unlocking Forever.
10 Keys to Successful Marriage Beyond I Do.
Yep.
Yep.
Written by who?
Written by you
And
and me. How about that? Yeah, look, this is something that in the beginning of this, now you have ideas. You're like, well, one day I like to do this, one day I like to do that.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, you never know how it's going to come about.
Right.
It's like, okay, it's going to come at some point in time. So it was like literally we were sitting, it was spring break.
It was spring break.
Spring break, we started. And we were like, let's just get started on the book. And I was like, okay. So what do you want to say here? It just flowed. I mean,
Yep.
it just flowed. And I was like, man.
It took more time for me to work up the nerve to publish it than
like
it did for
podcast,
us.
it's like-
Yep, like the podcast.
Do it and you got to put it out there.
So that was our first book,
Yep, our first book.
because there will be more.
And we're going to put it on out there.
We will be
Yep.
certified couples coaches. And with that, we hope to host events for couples, host retreats, provide support for new couples and for couples who are entering that empty nest phase and need to kind of reconnect with each other.
Yeah.
And like I said, Miss Elvery, that's what they're doing. And so she's been providing us with little nuggets. And so we look forward to that. We also connected with someone who's a travel agent,
Yep.
Glenn and Tanisha, and we just recorded their interview. And with Tanisha, she said before we got off, she said, hey, I'm a travel agent. We need to get together and start planning a retreat.
Yep.
And so that was exciting. That's part of the plan. And when she said that, I was like, okay, that's it.
Yep.
And we'll also be guests on her podcast coming up. So in the future, we've got some things cooking. Like I said, there'll be another book.
Yep.
We have our coaching that will start. With that coaching, we'll be trying to host some events, both in person and online.
So for all you married couples, get ready for an invite to something.
Yep. We have some more guest appearances that we'll be doing, and we just hope to continue sharing our story, sharing the information and knowledge from those individuals who have shared with us, and spreading the love.
Yep. Spreading the love where? Beyond I do.
Beyond I do. Also, in the future, so we do have a YouTube channel, and we post things on there. So if you have not checked out our YouTube, make sure you check that out, because there's some additional content there. And we'll be doing a video series about each of the guests, and specifically what we learned and what our takeaways were with each guest. So be on the lookout with that.
Yep.
And specifics to our experience with interviewing them. So be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
So how did it feel being back here, just me, you, the microphone?
Just felt natural. It felt, unscripted. It felt, no questions to necessarily answer. Just being us.
Just being us. I've enjoyed it.
Yes.
I've missed this.
Yes.
I've missed it.
And we'll get back to it. No. It just, I guess, I'm not going to say we lost ourselves, but
No.
as you were scheduling, people to interview,
I did.
it was like we were making the schedule. And I know we planned sometimes. I'm like, okay, we need to record. But then it was like, okay, we got this person to interview.
Right.
That's interview. And then we're being scheduled to be guests. So the time factor was just like pushing stuff, to the side as far as us.
I didn't
And
expect.
things started slowing down.
I didn't expect to get that type of response.
I didn't. Yeah.
And then because right now,
we are able to fill up the rest of the year.
right.
That's phenomenal.
And that was, we were releasing an episode every other Tuesday. And so we started in July to release every Tuesday so that we could get through, because the episodes that we're releasing now, they were recorded back in February or March.
Yeah,
and
March.
So I feel bad because, we're done recording really.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's just a matter of getting episodes ready and released.
Yeah, squeeze us in.
Right. We had to squeeze this in. We did kind of set aside, because since July had 5 Tuesdays, we set aside this Tuesday, which would be, this will air on the 30th. We did set aside that for an episode with just us, but I didn't expect that type of response when we first did.
No, I thought of maybe, I don't know, I might have thought, okay, maybe we'll get 10 at more 10 tops.
And see, I went into it with no expectation. And then once we started getting people, and honestly, remember there was a directory that we signed up for? We have a spreadsheet with 50 more people that we can, for next season. But in this, we've learned that we do like having that episodes with just us.
Yes.
So moving forward, we will be working on how we can incorporate our interviews, but still
throw us in there.
Have the time for you and I.
Yeah.
And hopefully next year we'll have a system that works.
We'll see.
We shall see.
I can try.
All right. You got anything else?
I think that's about it.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond I Do podcast. This was so exciting to be back with y'all. Just me, him, Mike.
Yep. So please join us next time for another guest and other future episodes, and us thrown in there every now and then.
I think there's maybe October has 5.
Yeah.
Because there was one more that we said we'd squeeze one in.
We're just trying to keep these things scheduled right. Because, well, you record with people You know, these people have their audience, and we're trying to, you know, they may be running specials or something like that. So
And we have had a couple
arrange them,
that we've done that.
But and most of them have been like, that's fine, whenever it comes out. So we try to get the information to them and let them know, hey, yours is releasing on this date. But
it's a learning experience too.
It is.
So like I said, from this we know, okay, we're going to have to put some type of limit on the time. And so we've talked about that because we get on there and we start going, even if that means we have to break them up into 2 episodes. And then that means that gives us time to add in also.
Yep.
So it's a learning experience.
Yes, it is.
It's a learning experience. So in the meantime, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yep.
Go to YouTube, subscribe. We have additional content there. And like I said, we also have a video series that will be coming up where
Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We up there.
Yep.
Beyond I Do Podcasts.
Yep.
And until next time, we will holler at y'all.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Beyond I Do podcast.
Please make sure to like this episode and also subscribe to our podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Beyond I Do podcast.
And until next time, we will holler at y'all.